Hey guys, welcome back to the Domain of Curiosity channel. I know I've been gone for quite a while. I've not been really consistently uploading at all. But I've just been busy working hard at Yale. I hope you can understand that. But yeah, I'm back for winter break. I'm relaxing, and today we're gonna read this essay, the essay that got me into Exeter. So, just diving right into it. Just before we get started, as you can see, this is actually the third prompt I had to answer. You had to answer like 3 out of 4, I believe. At least that was what it was at the time. As you can see, this was made in, the last time I edited this was in 2014. So yeah, it's been quite a while, actually. Just to read the prompt first. The prompt is, describe a moment when you felt challenged, successful, or overwhelmed, and how you handled it. Oh, I just wanted to raise up one more interesting point about this because to relate this to the Common App essays you'll probably be facing for college applications like I had to recently, pretty recently actually. As you can see, the idea of facing adversity and driving some type of lesson from that, learning from that adversity, learning from your oversights. That's a major theme in a lot of these Common App essay prompts. The second one as well. The fifth one is really the one I personally answer. Discuss an accomplishment, event, or realization that sparked some personal growth. And that's pretty much the same expectation from the Exeter admissions officers with this question, that you have learned from your failures. You've garnered something positive from that negative. I think that's a very powerful thing. Generally in life as well, but it's something to think about surely during your high school experience. What moments are there that are so defining for you that you've changed as a person. There's like a new you after that moment. So just keep that in mind. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, to get into my response to this prompt. Let's go. Another day, another challenge, another opportunity for me to rise. Over the past couple of years, I've proven to be no stranger to challenges in science and math. At a glance, I've led my school science ball team to a regional championship en route to a top 10 finish nationally. I braved the grueling math count state countdown round and placed second in all of Virginia. Moreover, I've tackled advanced courses like Calculus AB and even an online seminar in intermediate counting and probability. Sorry, I just want to stop here for a second, but I know the self-elevation and the boasting is really strong in this one. I know it can come across as a little bit too boasting at times, but this was really my selling point back then. I was really a STEM person, before I went to Exeter. A lot of things happened at Exeter that changed my overall vision. But this is really the crux of what I was doing back then, and that's always fine. But adversity comes in different forms. So yeah, with that said, let's keep going. But despite these achievements, there was one challenge still to be faced. What a one-track mind! Can you really lead the team? And he just does math. He doesn't know how to talk. Or some of the nastier remarks that had been directed at me. Nasty, yet oh so true. As much as I loved science and math, I realized that there was a world beyond numbers and equations. I knew it was time to branch out and realize my full potential. Why are you in debate club? Stick to the math, were the very first words I heard at debate club. At first I was hesitant, but I decided to make the most of the opportunity. I researched endlessly from voting rights to international politics. Yet on the first practice, my efforts fell short. I was pummeled by the opposition. Now, people made even more fun of me. I had tried and failed, but was still undeterred. My life became practicing debate, hours spent rehearsing in front of the mirror, late nights spent debating with my dad at the dinner table. Not a minute could be wasted. And so, when the day of the debate tournament arrived, my hard work truly showed. My talent was on full display to the odd judges, and we easily cruised through all 3 debates to go 3-0 for the first time in school history. My peers, even the ones who laughed at me, cheered as my team and I were declared winners. Shaan, this trophy should be yours. Looking at my transformation, my two teammates would believe the trophy should belong to me. At school, the same people who taught me were now calling me the math whiz turned debate champ. And most importantly, I was proud of myself for tackling a new challenge and finding a new me. Undebatably, one of my proudest moments. So yeah, just a couple of notes after reading this. It was actually really enjoyable to read this. I mean, it is good for 13-year-old writing an essay, but obviously my writing is far more mature now, especially in preparation for the Common App essays and generally the essays at Yale that I've written so far. Far beyond this. But I think some parts of my style have remained effective throughout the years. There's lots of exposition, especially in this essay. For me, it's a little bit more of a weakness. Like, we have like things like over the past couple of years, I've proven to be no stranger to challenges in science and math. Especially at Exeter, I really learned the skill of showing but not telling through your writing. So like using vivid descriptions or dialogue, very descriptive, very informative dialogue to create a very strong mental image, for your reader. I think that's a skill I did not have at the time, but I really garnered that with Exeter. Like I think that's really the crux of English and writing at Exeter. So that's an amazing thing I got to feel. But I think there's lots of heart in this essay. I think that's what's really the strength for me. And remember, this is actually only a 400-word essay. Like that was the word limit for this. So I think for a 400-word essay, there's lots of choppy transitions. Like I didn't really explain why I was really interested in debate, especially within this essay. Like I had in the previous versions, you can see I wrote some previous versions, but I didn't have enough space to really translate that to the final draft. So what was really left after that was just the heart and spirit. And there's a philosophy we talk about in psychology. I know it's kind of redundant to talk about this in this video, but it's called a peak-end philosophy. And this applies to a lot of fields, but the idea is that our judgments, especially for the admissions officer in this scenario, is determined by the peak of the experience, the most intense part of the experience being the essay in this scenario, as well as the end of that experience. So that's why usually I like to keep the starting line and the ending line and some place in the middle to be some of the strongest of my lines, like to convey a very strong mental image. Usually I like to do that with some very abstract ideas, but it depends. Like here I have another day, another challenge, another opportunity to rise. So just from that same sentence, you already have this idea conveyed that I embrace challenges. I embrace intellectual challenges, and I look forward to challenges because I look forward to those challenges as opportunities to grow, to rise, as I say here. So I'm not overwhelmed necessarily in a negative way by those challenges. I accept adversity. That's a very, it's a great idea to have here. That's especially what the admissions officers are looking for here. And then the final line is kind of it's corny play on words, undebatably. I kind of like that line. So yeah, not a very strong mental image, but just a very memorable line, to end on. The peak end philosophy. And I would say the peak here. I think the real peak here. I mean, you can debatably, pun intended, but you could say that the whole adversity here, like I tried and failed, but still an unturned. That part is definitely strong, but I feel like it's a very cliche thing here. I really changed that kind of style for my Common App essay, but this is pretty much the plot of Rocky, except for like science and math and debate. I mean, whatever. It's a cliche storyline. But what I really loved here was this line, and this actually resonates a lot with my Exeter experience. What happened to be my Exeter experience. As much as I loved science and math, I realized that there was a world beyond numbers and equations. I think it's a very true line. So I was really caught up in applied math research in my first 2 years at Exeter, but I think something that you realize after some years grappling with that research is that the lives that research touches is far important. The social narrative that research influences, That's far more important than the actual research itself. So I think that's just something to keep in mind, and I think that was really why debate, struck me as so interesting. The idea that we have to heed the social repercussions of our actions. I think that's something that was very powerful for me. I didn't know how to express it at the time. I was just more of a STEM person, but debate really helped me transition into somebody completely different. And I think another point to recognize here, it's a very sustainable strategy for any essay, but just also remember your audience again. Your audience is Exeter, the Exeter admissions officers, but they want to kind of vet for candidates who are, they want to create a very diverse set of candidates, but they also want to create candidates who fit into the Exeter community, into with the tenets of the Exeter community. And one of those major tenets, which everybody points to in any media related to Exeter, is the Harkness philosophy, the idea of collaboration and creating this diverse set of perspectives. People from different walks of life coming together and creating this friction, this kind of harmonious kind of friction in their discussions in Harkness. So yeah, I think the thing here is I have a very different perspective. I'm a very STEM person, especially in this point in my life. At the time I was writing this, but I was open to far more than just science and math. I was an open-minded person. I was gonna bring that logical, adherence with my, but I was also gonna bring the ability to create cohesive arguments from debate, the ability to understand the social repercussions of my actions. That's basically the heart of Exeter's motto of non-civi. Understanding that you have the power to inspire and empower others as well with your education, the knowledge and goodness. That's really at the heart of this essay. The spirit of this essay is what would tell an admissions officer that this guy is an Exonian. Maybe an unconventional one. Exeter's thought of as a liberal arts kind of school, but a majority liberal arts school. Of course, there's different opportunities as well. They have a great math team and all that. But I actually quit the math team after my first year as Exeter. That's for another video. But yeah, I was open to much more than my current purview in life at that time. I think that's what Harkness is really all about. But yeah, this is the essay that got me into Exeter. But I don't feel like this was the essay that defines my entire Exeter experience. I think this was just an interesting preview into my morale, my rationale before going to Exeter. And in another video, I'm going to talk about the best essay that I wrote at Exeter. And this is really something that influenced my college apps and still resonates with me at this time as well. It's called The Chutney Stains on My Journal, but again, I'll be talking about that in another video. So yeah, in the meantime, I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.